Anytime someone asks me why I have so much conviction about Microvision and the future of the MVIS stock price, I answer because over the last 2 years, they have laid out a pretty specific timeline with milestones at specific timetables, and so far, they have always hit those milestones. Well, the next milestone is coming up fast, and it would be a big one if they deliver like they have been doing. A less lazy version of me would search through the whole 3-hour-long presentation video and find the exact quote where Sumit talked about expected deals, but instead, I will paraphrase that the time frame of summer of 2023 was given for some of the first deals to be realized. It's 2023 now, and it's about 94 degrees in the warehouse right now, which means we are within the open brackets of that statement. And if a guy was to nitpick on terminology, there's only about a month left to summer. And while signing a deal does not immediately equate to revenue on day one, because of the whole nearly year-long final ASIC implementation process, someone correct me if I'm wrong about that, but depending just how recognizable the name of the company is that comes after the first time Sumit utters the phrase, "We have signed a deal with," if that ends up being Ford, VW, Audi, Mercedes, there will be a run on the stock, however temporary. And I'm not an expert on stocks. If I was, I'd be speaking to you from a warehouse that had air conditioning, but I think that a shorted stock has to be returned eventually no matter what, which means that as long as the company doesn't fold, we've got something like 40 million more shares sort of automatically baked in as future buying pressure. And if the price were to violently and suddenly go from $2.50 to $9 or $10 in like the span of a day because of some big announcement, my guess is some portion of those shorted shares come up against a situation where they're forced to cover at a much higher price than they anticipated, which would only feed that fire. But even if the coveted short squeeze doesn't take place, because there is a very tiny chance of that happening, since they just don't really happen very often at all, those 40 whatever million shares still have to be bought back eventually. I don't think those positions can just remain open forever, or I have no idea how the stock market works. Forget Microvision for a second, just open up a browser window and type in LiDAR in cars and see what you see. How LiDAR technology is making self-driving cars a reality. Automotive LiDAR has arrived. What is LiDAR and how is it used in cars? LiDAR is now high on the auto industry radar. Virtually every large car manufacturer is talking about it. LiDAR is coming now. At all other times in my mind, it's always been LiDAR is coming sometime in the near future. I hope it's this year. But it's different now. For the first time, I'm really confident that LiDAR companies will be announcing real deals this year, prior to Christmas time, like within a few short months. So hold on to your butts. And if you want to support my channel and support my expeditions out to go bother the C-suite managers for more details in person once they do talk about those deals, if I set it up correctly, just below this video, there's a little box you can click on to buy a Summer of the RFQ T-shirt. You can buy it right from this page. This won't be something where I click a button and somewhere in China a shirt gets spat out of a machine and sent into the mail. I will personally swipe some ink onto a silk screen and make you a t-shirt with my own bare hands. Disclaimer, I go out of town a lot, so shipping speed may vary. But every penny that comes from these t-shirts will go into my 2023-2024 travel budget to Redmond or whatever expo I can get myself into on a media pass. So get yourself a Summer of the RFQ t-shirt now and gamble on looking stupid wearing it when the boys don't come through this year. Anyway, I have nothing new to talk about. These are just my reasons for a very high level of confidence that this story is finally about to get interesting and soon. Blah, 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 blah.